For me, there's a simple rule in politics. Never, ever be surprised by what happens in politics.
The face of truth is open. The eyes of truth are bright. The lips of truth are ever closed. The head of truth is upright. The breast of truth stands forward. The gaze of truth is straight. Truth has neither fear nor doubt. Truth has patience to wait. The words of truth are touching. The voice of truth is deep. The law of truth is simple. All you sow, you reap. The soul of truth is flaming. The heart of truth is warm. The mind of truth is clear and firm through rain and storm. Facts are only its shadow. Truth stands above all sin. Great be the battle of life. Truth in the end shall win. The image of truth is the cross. Wisdom's message is its rod. The sign of truth is Christ, and the soul of truth is God. Life of truth is eternal. Immortal is its past. Power of truth shall endure. Truth shall hold to the last.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living room. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
It was 5 days ago that we were last on the air. Welcome to another edition of the world's most monitored talk show and, of course, most anticipated broadcast today. My name is Timothy Poleon. We'll be together until 2 o'clock this afternoon, and no doubt I'll be hearing from you at 452-2979, 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages, 716-2026. 716-2026, and of course Amanda will be going through some of the comments in the chat room, and she'll be providing us with some updates from time to time. Here's hoping that you in St. Lucia enjoyed your carnival, and this would have been at the expense of a number of our listeners in the diaspora. So because we had carnival in St. Lucia, we could not have hosted the broadcast on Carnival Monday and Carnival Tuesday, creating a void for many of you beyond the shores of the island, and maybe a lot of you who are existing and living in St. Lucia as well. Hope we can make up for the 2-day absence. Crime in St. Lucia. I really don't get a sense that the majority of the people on the island understand the magnitude of the problem that we are facing this time. And that is because the situation is being masked by the authorities. And how are they doing that? By employing a particular tactic, and that is through avoidance. They're avoiding what is before us. They're avoiding what necessitates their full attention at this point in time, while they focus on other issues. And don't get me wrong, we are not saying that things should be at a standstill because we're recording homicide after homicide in St. Lucia. After all, we can't give in to the criminal elements in our country. Because as the Prime Minister likes to say, we have a country to run. And that involves having various social activities on the island that will generate finances for the economic development of St. Lucia, for us to thrive, because we can't shut our doors. But internally, there is something that is crying out for attention, crying out for it to be tackled head on, because otherwise the entire St. Lucia soon will have to be designated an escalated crime area. Because if it's not fearful, it is dennery, it is to a certain extent soufre, and now it is a section of Castries East. And talking about Castries East, another homicide occurred there in the early hours of Sunday. And an individual, I'm assuming, I'm getting the impression through all the buzz it has generated, his killing has generated, that he was a popular individual, identified as Kwame, a businessman in the area, well-known, popular individual, shot and killed on Sunday morning in Marchand. Now remember, it was only Thursday of last week. There were 2 fatalities as a result of a shooting incident in that same area. And 4 other people were injured. And those people, I would like to assume, have not fully recovered from their ordeal, physically and psychologically and otherwise. But yet still, there's been yet another shooting in that area. I am also told that there was yet another shooting, this time in Grass Street, last evening. And the 2 victims have been identified as Kent Louis and Siobhan Joseph, also known as Leanback. And already the police, my sources are saying, they are not expecting that the situation will improve any time soon. There's another shooting, this time of a soca artist, and that shooting took place on Sunday evening, and the victim identified as Monster, well-known soca artist, and I'm told that his injuries are not life-threatening. The island also recorded another homicide, this time on Carnival Monday, and the victim is a 22-year-old national footballer. And that individual has been identified as Sherman Augustine. I'm told, not confirmed this yet, but there was a suicide over in Choiseul. But let's go back to Kwame, because no sooner he was shot and killed, his business operation in Marshall was ransacked, and several items would have been taken, stolen, you name it. And the inventory is still being done, and the police, as we normally hear, are currently carrying out their investigation. What will come out of that probe, we don't know. Several other matters of a similar nature, whether you're talking about burglaries, whether you're talking about incidents relating to rape, whether you're talking about homicides, those have not been resolved, and therefore they are still under investigation. What country, what nation is St. Lucia as we speak today. It depends on who is watching this broadcast and who is listening, and who wants to face the reality on the ground, and who has seen the necessity for a social construct to come up with resolutions and answers to our problems to deal with this crisis which is currently in our hands, which warrants us having the determination and the will and also the desire to deal with what is confronting this nation called St. Lucia. And how many people want to do the simple lifting, such as speaking out? So already, as we are learning on a daily basis, and as we continue to host this program, and to listen to many of you who call in and express your concerns, and in some cases offer recommendations and suggestions, those individuals that we have been relying upon over the last few years have become useless for a number of reasons. And, we refer to them as civil society, but they have become uncivil. Don't look to them to call a spade a spade. Don't look to them. Do not look to folks in the St. Lucia Chamber of Commerce to do that. Do not look for folks in the National Youth Council, the St. Lucia Bar Association, the St. Lucia National Trust, so-called concerned citizens to come forward. Those people are very much entrenched in their various operations, and they're benefiting. They're receiving contracts, they're receiving certain benefits and favors from the government of the day, and they have literally turned their backs on their country because it's all about self. So what should happen going forward? A new set of individuals. If you truly care about this St. Lucia of ours, you ought to come forward and provide your services in many areas. Because don't look to your parliamentary representatives to come forward and be honest with you. Because it's already 1:45 in the afternoon. And amidst all what that has happened, don't expect any of the politicians who are in government to call this program this afternoon and to address the issue sincerely, from the heart, and to do so authentically with a desire to impress upon you the assurance that they are working diligently to tackle this problem, to bring some kind of relief to many of you who are suffering in one way or the other. Many of you who have lost loved ones, and, unfortunately, many of us in this country, we will continue to lose people primarily because of the serious crime problem that we continue to experience and the fallout that is so predictable. Let's get to it. Real lives are being erased. Real lives are being erased. And what is required, apart from just vehicles, apart from increasing the manpower of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, what is required? Effective policies. What is required? Leadership. What is required? Effective strategies. And it's worth impressing upon if the politicians will not listen, if the Prime Minister and National Security Minister will not take heed, it is important to say to the leadership of this country that obviously what you are doing, they're not working. They're not working. And continue at the expense of the people of this country, the precious lives of the people of this country, to say the same things. They shout the same nonsense. My father was not a policeman. Will not get us anywhere. Continuing to just give the police in St. Lucia more vehicles, not working. It will not work. The evidence is definitely there. So there's need for a new approach. And for the citizenry of this country, there is definitely need for us to force our leaders to account to us. They must account. They have to account. They have been given with the significant task, the huge responsibility of ensuring our safety in this country, or getting close to it. And a lot of people like to engage in subterfuge by saying, no government can end crime. Most St. Lucians are realistic, and they'll tell you they do not expect a perfect St. Lucia. They do not expect any government, Flambeau, Etoile, any one of them, to end crime. But it must be managed. It cannot be a case where some criminal elements have assumed responsibility for our security, and they are doing a mess of it. And I'm talking about the real criminals out there who are determining that they are the ones who are in charge. They can determine whether you live or you die. And that is not the position that has been taken by our elected officials and those who are appointed to ensure our safety. I mean, he might be in his office listening, or maybe not. Right now as we speak. Might be overseas, I don't know. But can the National Security Minister of this country truly, in engaging in introspection, say that he's up to the task of maintaining law and order in St. Lucia? That will remain a rhetorical question for him to answer. But I'm sure you, listening to this broadcast and watching as well, you have the answer to that question. And I hope you can be as honest as possible, whether you're a supporter of the SLP, the UWP, or no political party at all. Because we have been there before. And we continue to be in the abyss. And if you have boasted of being the most readied individual to lead this country, clearly the evidence would not indicate that you are equipped to do so. And you need not be a police officer to seriously tackle the crime problem. So John Compton was no police officer, but he managed it. It wasn't perfect. He managed. At least he had a few responses. So far, we have not gotten any kind of effective response from the individual who is at the helm of our country. And normally, the Prime Minister, whether he is a former police officer or not, he is responsible for the safety of the country. Whether he's a doctor, he's responsible for ensuring that we receive a service, a quality of health service in this country. That's not perfect, but that's reasonable. He is responsible for taking care of our education. He's responsible for sports. Indirectly, he is responsible. Ali, we cannot have a situation where he continues to hold on to the portfolio of national security, continues to be the prime minister, and the scariest of things are happening to our people. And it's as if the rest of the nation, we don't have a conscience, we don't understand and appreciate the magnitude of the problem that we're experiencing at this time. Pregnant woman being shot and killed, 13-year-old being shot and killed, 18-year-old just graduated from school being shot and killed. You name it, triple homicide, double homicide. And the Prime Minister, in a statement you'll hear from him in just a moment, speaks about the opposition. Who cares about the opposition? Who ought to care in such circumstances about surrogates of the opposition? Are they responsible for your security? Or is it Philip J. Pierre, the Prime Minister of this country, who is responsible for your security, and he owes you that? He has to account to you. And to make the situation even more egregious, of late, a lot of those shootings are occurring in his constituency, Castries East. And he likes to boast about residing in that constituency. He resides right there. And it is happening under his watch. And he has no clear response to what is happening in this part of the nation's capital. And he wants you to just focus on the opposition and surrogates. Let's listen to the Prime Minister, a statement that he issued on the violence in this country.
This is Philip J. Pierre, Prime Minister of St. Lucia. Let me once more express my deepest and sincerest condolences to the victims of those senseless killings that passed in St. Lucia over the last couple of days. As I've said before, the government has a zero tolerance towards crime, and one murder is too much. Let me tell the people of St. Lucia that this government will continue to do whatever we can do to stop this scourge of crime by a few misguided individuals who are intent on changing our country from what it was. This trend did not start this year. It started for a few years ago. And as I condemned it at the time, I will condemn it again, even if it's happening now. I have full confidence, and we will give the police all the resources possible, adding to what we have already given them, to use their best efforts to deal with these criminals and these criminal gangs. Because we cannot allow our peaceful country to be destroyed by a few selfish, greedy, and disgraceful individuals. The police have my full support, my fullest support, within the law, to take all steps necessary to stop these senseless killings and crime that appears to be taking over our island. I also want to condemn the podcast by a supporter of the United Workers' Party, who in a disgraceful way, instead of asking the people of St. Lucia to stop, instead of expressing condolences, seeks to use this sad situation for political mileage. It is sad that the opposition is so desperate that the only thing they can do or say through their surrogates is trying to politicize crime. We condemn such behavior. We condemn that behavior in uncertain terms. We call on all St. Lucians to join together. We call on the police to use all what is necessary within the law to stop this scourge of crime. We call on the young men and other people to use the resources available, the resources given by the government, to improve their quality of life, to improve their quality of living, and to get away from this senseless crime that they seem to be involved in. I once more condemn all violence. I once more again say that the government will continue to give the police all the resources necessary, all the resources that we can give within our fiscal limits to stop this behavior in our country. The police have my fullest support. The police have my fullest support to go out and do what they have to do within the law. And once more, I call on all St. Lucians to have a peaceful carnival, to enjoy the festivities in a peaceful and loving way, while our beautiful country continues to develop and reach higher heights and a higher quality of life for the people of our country. Enjoy Carnival and be careful.
Assuring words from the Prime Minister of St. Lucia. He's also the nation's National Security Minister. Let us compare that to the Prime Minister of Jamaica, recently addressing citizens, and you could sense the frustration, the authenticity that is coming across. From the little clip that I saw, he's not focusing on the People's National Party and their surrogates. He's focusing on the criminals in the country.
Let me be clear. The government will eliminate and eradicate every single gang in Jamaica. Let me be clear. Every contract killer, we will find you. Everyone who is importing guns into Jamaica, we will find you. I want to be very clear and transparent. Let me be clear. The government will eliminate and eradicate every single gang in Jamaica. Let me be clear. Every contract killer, we will find you. Everyone who is importing guns into Jamaica, we will find you. I want to be very clear and transparent.
Prime Minister of Jamaica, Dr. Andrew Holness. Let's hear from you right now at 452-2979, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. In about 2 days' time, it will be 1 month since Tyson, the dog, Officer 642, died in what the police described as suspicious circumstances. Suspicious circumstances. Reportedly, that's the nature of Tyson's death. It occurred under suspicious circumstances. And we have to ask law enforcement if there is about to be a cover-up. And we're just asking the question because there seems to be no urgency on the part of the authorities, and let's speak directly to the hierarchy, and in particular the island's police commissioner, Mr. Vanguard, to address the taxpayers, the stakeholders of St. Lucia, on the death of Officer Tyson. By now, are you saying that you're not in a position, if you cannot provide us with a full report, to say to the St. Lucian public what led to Tyson's death? Almost a month. A couple people have died. 2 or 3 days later, we've had a post-mortem. The results disclosed in the case of a visit to our shores. But not a word on the death of Officer 642 Tyson. We will continue to ask questions of the authorities. We want an explanation, and we will not stomach or tolerate, if that is the case, and I'm saying a big if, try to be as responsible as possible. We will not tolerate any cover-up. Good afternoon to you, Amanda. Let's find out what is happening in the chat room.
Good afternoon, Tim. Good afternoon, New Spinners. A few comments from early in the chat room. And New Spinner says here, what a lawless constituency. A comment here reads, in all of this, PJP is coming with a half so-called address talking about the opposition. PJP, you're the Prime Minister. Stop insulting our intelligence with your crap blame game. A New Spinner says they're too busy protecting their victory. Another comment here reads, Tim, nothing will come out of this matter like all the rest of the murders happening in this country. Someone says there, Team, I'm looking forward to hearing from the Minister of Central to come out on his show and talk about it. We're tired of hearing shas to this, shas to that. We want him to come out with strategies to curb the crime. A comment here reads, the politicians who are responsible for Operation Restore are presently in government, so are we going to have a repeat? A New Spinner says there, to augment law enforcement in St. Lucia, the two dysfunctional policy arms of government and the new police force must reform into a professionalized institution, competent in law enforcement, prevention, policing, investigation, prosecution, and a functioning judiciary. Another comment here reads, the silence is mad deafening. Someone says there, I will say it over and over, bring back the K9 units. Someone says there, PJP, instead of you coming out and mock Shasney for skipping rope, we want you to come out with how the country will move forward with all of these killings going on in the place. Someone says there, where is the crime prevention minister? A New Spinner says there, what a few years ago has to do with your present administration? Someone says there, I condemn that statement from you, Mr. Prime Minister. I was with you, but once you started the rhetoric of UWP politicizing crime, you lost my sentiment. You're politicizing your address. And a New Spinner says here, so much for the most dreaded Prime Minister. PJP has no plans except blame deflection. For a better nation, PJP should rule locally, and Anson should rule St. Lucia from a distance.
We have a call. Thank you so much, Amanda. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Good afternoon, Tim.
Hi, good afternoon to you, caller.
Tim, I do not feel safe in my country. I do not feel safe at all. We have a Prime Minister that cannot protect the citizenry. Every other day is a homicide, a shooting, a killing. He has no idea of what to do. All the man focus is on protecting the victory. He has failed to protect the people. He doesn't understand that without the people, he has no victory. We don't feel safe. We need a better Prime Minister. We need to get Mate and his jokers out of the team. Tim, do you feel safe?
I don't, Gordon.
That's exactly the whole country. We're not safe. He has his priorities wrong. He doesn't have an idea. The man's supposed to resign, do the honorable thing. He's incompetent. He doesn't know what to do. The country is not safe, Tim. I'm crying right now. Every day, young people bleeding and dying. Philippe, do better. Philippe, do better. Manage the economy better. Bye-bye, Tim.
Thank you so much for calling, sir. 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Let's see if we have a call on the landline. In the meantime, a WhatsApp message. Tim, I listen to you. And it's all square pegs in round holes. When the blind leads the blind, they both fall into a ditch. That's how I think about what's going on, particularly in the government right now. We have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air. Good afternoon to you, caller. Hello?
Yeah, Tim.
Yes, sir.
Yes, hi, good day, Tim.
Good afternoon to you, sir. Go ahead, please.
Good afternoon to you, my brother.
Yes, good afternoon.
And number 2 by you there, Amanda.
Good afternoon, caller.
Yeah, Tim. Tim, What's wrong with this man, Tim? Tim, do we really have a man governing the country, Tim? Tim, remember the triple homicide up Millet side there?
Yes.
You remember we was asking for a speech from a word from the Prime Minister. Up to now, we never said nothing. We had the homicide in Chaussee. The girl lose her baby in her belly. He haven't said nothing. We had that little young guy that loses life in Black Malay. He haven't come out and said nothing. But they shoot a man that is selling drugs and a mini little business. You come out and talk.
Caller, we know, as we have a businessman, we have no evidence to say anybody is selling drugs or anything like that, caller. So refrain from saying that, sir. Refrain from saying that.
Okay, my brother, but I just by there, I'm telling you. Yeah. So why I just want to know why he approached, why he stand for that man.
That is a killer response, you know, caller. That is a killer response. Anyway.
Okay.
But as much as you said,
how serious I am about it.
As much as you said that, caller, let's not repeat that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, let's leave it so.
Dangerous caller.
Yeah. But Tim, we need to do something about the prime. The PM need to go. He need to stand down. He need to do something. Your father was in the police. You cannot do police work. But why you want to talk national security? That is still not your field, bro. I don't know why the man not seeing that. Look, crime today. Last night had a shooting. The man blaming that on Flambeau. That's why you're in charge. You're not in charge. Nothing don't have to do with UWP, bro. Why he come and speak on that man? The child in the belly wasn't important. These people, the country not important to that man or what? Bro, a lady lost her life with a baby in her belly. You don't say one word, bro. But a man loses life, guys. The man, bro, I mean, bro. What? Not the man wasn't no good card. The man have one hand. The man not no good card. The man not no good card. Ask him why he lose his hand. The man wasn't a good card. But why you never stand up for the innocent girl and her baby? Why you don't stand up for the innocent little child that loses life in Black Malay? Why you don't stand for the innocent little boy that loses life on the Chaussee? Bro, why you don't stand for the innocent in the country? But why you standing for those you know that is involved in things that might go down anytime soon? You standing for them. You see how corrupt and misleading that Prime Minister is? So he tag with Tinubu. I get a new name for him, you know, Pierre. His new name, Philip Tinubu Pierre. Behave yourself. That's our PM new name. Philip Tinubu Pierre. You bring Tinubu down here. Tinubu, people don't even want him. Look now, the crime not stopping and you talk about 17. So that is how y'all just win your victories with bloodshed. And it ain't going to stop unless them man win, you know. The blood will not stop shedding unless Labour come back in power. Flabo need to take them out. We need to right the wrong. Tim, have a good day, you and Amanda.
Okay, caller. Thank you so much for calling. 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Again, 716-2026. Good afternoon to you. You are on the air. Hello. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Yes,
good afternoon, Tim of Poleon.
Hi, good afternoon to you, caller.
Peter Chico.
Good afternoon to you.
United Workers' Party representative for Castries East. Or selected representative for Castries East. Tim, I just want to lend my voice to this crime pandemic. We have a situation where over the past few days, we have heard and we have seen quite a few shootings happening in Castries East. And I heard earlier and over the days that the Prime Minister or the district representative stood up for this gentleman who got shot on Sunday morning. Just prior to that, a couple of days prior to that, there were a number of persons injured. As a matter of fact, 2 dead and 4 hospitalized with gunshot wounds. And my understanding is that those individuals have not yet been contacted or have not heard anything from the district rep as yet. But however, he showed up on Sunday morning after the shooting in Machan. Tim, the time is now for us as a people, not just as a people in Castries East, but the time is now for us as a people in St. Lucia to stand against this level of violence. I also understood, in fact, I heard from you, I saw some posts on social media whereby there was a shooting last night, right? Is that correct?
Yes, 2 people got shot in the process at Grass Street.
Right. Tim, if the persons, the names that I heard are in fact that the names of the persons that got shot, you know what will happen in the upcoming days. I do not think the police has an answer to that situation as yet. We see a reactive police force. We don't see a proactive police force. We don't see proactive measures being taken. We don't hear the government coming out to condemn, to criticize, to lend support to the persons who get themselves injured in these things. Worst of all, we looking at just persons who have died. They become a statistics. But you realize the shooting on Thursday, 2 dead, there were 4 shot, 4 others shot. What became of these other 4 persons? These persons just continue to live their life with these scars, and there is no form of support for those persons. So in Castries East, the plan is to engage, to start engaging those persons, because we need to develop a support system for those persons, because some of those persons suffer some real serious injuries. As a matter of fact, one of the persons who got shot was discharged a couple of days ago. And my understanding is that the individual was discharged and she still have I don't know how many, 1 or 2 gunshots lodged in her body. But I mean, so where is the support for those persons? They're children. So in Castries East, we're really trying to look to bring those persons together. And in the upcoming days, we're going to roll out a couple of we're going to inform the persons as to what we're going to do and how we are going to do it. Because we're just trying to finalize a location, an office where we could meet these persons. And I'm encouraging all of those victims and their families who did not suffer a loss of life, at least they suffered injuries. There must be some mechanism to look after those persons. But this criminality that is happening, this crime, this killing that is happening in Castries East, I blame that squarely on the government. The government has maintained a silent posture for far too long. When this thing was being blown out of proportion, in fact, when it started happening, the government was extremely silent. I'm very surprised and disappointed with that lackluster report. It appears like the Prime Minister, you know, when you give a child a pen and he's scribbling, he was just scribbling at a speech. And that does not inspire any confidence in anybody that Prime Minister is serious or the government is serious about crime. So there are a few things that must happen. The previous government had started a program to install security cameras on the streets. That must be installed with urgency. We need a fully functional K-line unit. Tyson died. Oh, Tyson was killed. He was murdered. It was murdered. The dog was murdered. You heard what was happening in the house. And we don't seem to have a plan as to how we're going to move forward. We need forward-thinking people that could help in this crime situation. We need to develop social policies and programs to engage those young persons. But Tim, I remain very, very concerned about the killings that have happened and that shooting last night. That shooting last night, that might very well be the beginning of a real war. So Tim, I encourage the constituents of Castries East to keep your head up. The time is soon coming for you all to make that change. A change where some form of, you will get a reprieve, some improvement in your lives, make Castries is a more secure, a safer community to live in. Team, with that, I thank you for your time. And Amanda, I thank you as well.
Thank you so much for calling, sir. Just heard there from the opposition UWP candidate for Castries East, Mr. Peter Chico. Somebody says via WhatsApp, Tim, there are so many ways we can bring the crime problem under control. The police arrested a guy with a loaded firearm. He was granted bail in the sum of $15,000 or $20,000. In less than a month, the same guy in a traffic check was arrested with another firearm. There should be no bail at all. Still to come on the broadcast. The NewsSpin question of the day asks, why shouldn't Marsha/Black Malay be designated an escalated crime area? All that and more on the most monitored talk show in the world.
Carnival just got crunchier with KFC. It's time to fat, win, and feast with the Carnival Crunch Box. For just $30, get a Big Crunch or Zinger sandwich, 3 crunchy strips, a dipping sauce, regular fries, a 16-ounce soda, and a biscuit. But wait, that's not all. Every Carnival Crunch Box gives you a chance to win big. Promotion runs June 1st to July 20th. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Do whatever that crunch you want.
Lazarus's Funeral Home is here for you. Lazarus's Private Cemetery offers a peaceful resting place for your loved ones. With tranquil settings, visitation, and reflection, we believe in the compassionate care of all our departed loved ones. Lazarus's Private Cemetery, let us help you create a final resting place. Make it special. Make it Lazarus's Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Payment plans are available for tombs. Call us in Vidbuta at 452-7491 or in New Dock Road, VA4, 454-6555.
Lucelec customers are advised that from the 17th to the 29th of July, an island-wide meter replacement campaign will be undertaken. This is at no additional cost to customers. This is part of Lucelec's ongoing commitment to providing a safe, reliable, and efficient service. The new meters will ensure continued accuracy in customer usage readings and ensure that services continue to meet the highest standards. Customers with meters scheduled for replacement will receive a Lucelec notice at least 48 hours before. On the day of the replacement, a uniformed Lucelec technician with proper identification will undertake the work, which is generally estimated to take less than 30 minutes. To ensure a smooth process, customers are encouraged to ensure that there is a clear, unobstructed path to their meter. All questions or queries concerning this meter change should be addressed to the Lucelec customer service team at 457-4440 or the metering section at 457-4607. Lucelec thanks their valued customers for their cooperation, understanding, and support throughout the process.
Your home is a reflection of who you are. So make it beautiful. With M&C Home Depot.
Quality products at the best prices. Paint and plumbing to home appliances. Customer service, you can count on us. With experience you can trust.
So if you need to build it, clean it, style it, paint it or fix it, chances are we got it. M&C Home Depot, better value for better homes.
M&C Home Depot, better value for better homes.
Visit us in store or shop online at mnchomedepot.com. M&C Home Depot, better value for better homes.
Flo's prepaid customers can now unlock big bonus rewards like bonus data, prizes, and more every time you activate a 3-day prepaid plan or larger. Activate a plan, then scratch to reveal your bonus data. Plus, get points for extra prizes. The more you activate, the more bonus data and prizes you can win. Get in on the big bonus rewards when you activate a prepaid plan. Dial *129# or visit topupflow.com to activate a plan today.
At La Clinique de Corps, Your health comes first with St. Lucia's only advanced 1.5 Tesla MRI, delivering safe, radiation-free imaging aligned with World Health Organization and international standards. Not sure if you need an MRI, CT, or ultrasound? Our expert in-house doctors guide you so you get the right scan the first time. One accurate scan can change everything. Your peace of mind starts here. Get $50 off all consultations with our doctors now through July 31st. We're UHC approved and accept all major insurances. Visit us in Castries or Cocoville, Rodney Bay. Call 451-6559 or WhatsApp 721-9950. La Clinique de Corps. Advanced care, local access, your health reimagined.
Essie, don't tell me that tire flat again. I just changed that tire.
Wait, what? You just changed that tire?
Well, I bought a used one because you didn't give me enough money.
Oh, I see. Well, you know what? Chivi's Tire Shop only carry brand new quality tires at affordable prices with free installation.
Hey, it seems you're working at Chivi's Tire Shop. How you know all that?
Come on, Brenda. The tire shop down the road from our home in the American Drywall Building.
Oh, yes. I forgot. Well, you know what, Patrick? Let's go there right now. Take your wallet. Let's go.
Chivi's Tire Shop, located at the American Drywall Building, Vic Bouteille. Call or WhatsApp 584-5986. Chivi's Tire Shop. Pay less, drive more.
At First National Bank, we believe being first means putting you first. Your first home, we've got the mortgage. Starting your first business, count on our commercial loans. Dreaming of your first car? Drive it home today. Heading to college? Let's fund that first big step with a student loan. No matter the milestone, make First National Bank your first choice for all your loan needs. First in service, first in trust, first for you. Call us at 455-7000 or visit your nearest First National Bank branch today so we can help put you first. First National Bank, here for you.
This is the most monitored talk show in the world, where we continue with your calls at 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Somebody says, the stigma of my community, a guy just got murdered in less than 24 hours. His business and home is already raided by his so-called peers around him. That says a lot about my community. Shaking my head. That was a WhatsApp message. And let's see if we could have some more of your WhatsApp messages. Somebody says there, just bear with me while we try to go through as many of your messages as possible. Okay, there somebody says via WhatsApp, the guys that were shot last night, are they deceased? Well, not to my knowledge. My information is that they were shot and injured at the time we came on the air. This is NewsSpin. Good afternoon. Please go ahead if you contribute. Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you.
Yeah, good afternoon, Amanda.
Good afternoon, caller.
Mr. Tim, I remember when the Prime Minister got in office, Philip J. The opposition, the United Workers' Party lost the election. Either a year or couple months when the Prime Minister was in office, the opposition, Mr. Alan Michael Shasney, was giving him advice about the crime because the crime was starting to rise. I remember the Philip JP say he don't need his advice. He said that. He said he don't need his advice. And I'm listening to a clip. The Prime Minister is saying that the opposition is using the crime rating as a political mileage. Mr. Pierre, you're wrong for saying that. I remember a clip again saying that there is a supporter of the United Workers' Party, bad talking the party. I know who he's talking about. I don't have to see who, and a lot of people know who he's talking about. But that person he's talking about had voted for him. The man came down the states and voted for you. Now the man see you're not managing the country right. It's not the matter. You see, what people fail to understand, I support in Florbo. And if the United Workers' Party is doing things that bad, not because I support them, I'll cover them up, because we want government to govern the country. Now, if the man that vote for you the first time see you're not doing a good job, what do you want him to say? And earlier on, I listened to a gentleman talk about the man in Marshall that gets shot. I not saying I don't know what he was selling, I don't know. But what I have to say about that, I find that's the only person the Prime Minister, Philip JP, put her voice out. That's the only person. And it make me think fat. I don't know what connection he has with that man, but that's the only person he talk about. And I'm sending a message for us. Too much people dying. The man talk about, Mr. Tim, you could give the police officer, as he had said, he could give them extra vehicles. He could, last time I remember he said give them jet ski. He could give them all of them things. Unless he don't bring the K9 unit back, crime will not stop. I will not say it will stop completely because of the dog already proved to us. A dog find 17 guns and 3,000 rounds of ammunition. You could put the whole police force a day to look for that. They can never come up with that. And I find you talking about that and you're not bringing up the K9. Bring the K9 back, Mr. Pierre, please. Bring it back. Apologize to the French people and tell them, well, bring it back. You never say a word about that. So how you expect crime will ease up when the crime solver, which is the K9 Tyson, was solving the crime for us? You know what I mean? So unless you can bring that back, you will just keep on talking and playing LPs and playing CD and playing jam drive, and it will not work. And stop blaming people. The man vote for you, the election, because you said you was the most ready prime minister, he vote for you. Now he's seen you're not the most ready prime minister, he's not against you, he don't hate you. The man hates you, you know, but it's just that the man see you not managing the country right, so you have a right to put pressure on you. I don't hate you, and I put in pressure on you. I'm not insulting you, huh? I'm not insulting the Labour Party, you know. As a citizen of the country, I have a right to put pressure on them when they're doing things that's not right. Let's stop there, my brother.
Same to you, sir. We have a WhatsApp message. Somebody says, I keep waiting for the Prime Minister to address this crime problem, and every time he does, he disappoints me. PJP is stating the obvious in his address and also politicizing this. The opposition could politicize crime as much as they can. I don't believe there should be any concern of the Prime Minister. The obvious thing he mentioned is he condemns the crime. He gives his full support to the police. Of course, I expect you to condemn these foolish crimes. PJP what I want to hear is what your government is doing or will do to bring this under control. I want him to speak to the troublemakers as he referred to these criminals and make them uncomfortable. Pronounce that the justice system will be tightened. We have to find means and ways to find these criminals. Give them no way to escape or to continue their stupid acts. Give the people of St. Lucia some comfort. Philip J. Pierre, please restore our confidence in the government of St. Lucia. We have another call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon, you're on the air. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Tim. How are you doing?
I'm okay, caller. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Amanda.
Good afternoon, caller.
Tim, what I call to say someone has already said, but I will elaborate a bit more. You know, when Alan Chasney said he's willing to share ideas with Philip J. Pierre to help solve the crime problem, I think the precise answer from Philip J. Pierre was, this thing belongs in the garbage. I don't know if you can recall that.
Yes, Colonel.
Yes, he said it belongs in the garbage. Now, if you think that you will deal with garbage and you will not get garbage in your front door, you are very mistaken, because I think it was Marcus Garvey who said, people who forget their history or their past is bound to relive it. And this is what is happening to St. Lucia today. His history, our history, he has forgotten the crimes, store confidence, all the things that happened. He has put that behind his back. He said his father was the police. He is not a police. So that means he doesn't care. So therefore, the chickens are coming into roost. When you came in, you expunged, I think the word is, I can't remember.
Yes, Colonel.
All these people that all these people that committed they broke the law during COVID and so on, and were arrested and so on. He expunged all of them. Now, if you go about expunging criminals, it shows that your criminals are with you and you are with them. So therefore, whatever we do, there's nothing wrong for that. Helping to solve the crime problem in St. Lucia involves everyone. Me, police, doctors, nurses, civil society. It does not belong in the trash can. Philippe J. Pierre, will and come again. Thank you.
Thank you so much for calling, sir. 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Again, 716-2026. Let's see if we could go through any of your WhatsApp messages. And somebody says there via WhatsApp, Tim, the former Prime Minister of Bangladesh was caught on secret recordings issuing orders to use lethal force against the protesters last year, 2024. She resigned and fled to India. So maybe Philip J. Pierre, the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, should exile to Nigeria and keep Tinubu company. Let's see if we have a call via WhatsApp. Let's see there. 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Somebody says there. Okay, all right. Amanda, do you have any comments in the chat room to go through?
Yes, Tim, I have quite a few.
Yes, go ahead.
A NewsSpinner says, PJP, the opposition is not in office. So what are you doing to curb these senseless killings? A comment here reads, it will never end with that SLP refusing to take responsibility. Shake my head. Weak leadership, hands down. A NewsSpinner says, Team PGP is all about politics. When you elect a clown, expect a circus. Another comment here reads, Prime Minister, too little too late, only because it's at your doorstep. You now have a voice. Start the cleaning from within. You say you know who is behind the crime. What have you done? Stop the petty politicking. The people are tired of it. Someone says there, address the impact reports, have working scanners at the ports, get a private canine unit, and invest in drones to monitor the waters. A comment here reads, after 4 years in office, Mr. Prime Minister, you cannot say anything without involving the opposition. A NewsSpinner says, just recently Vanguard was singing dancehall for the clowns in government, but he can't come out to sing on the serious issues plaguing us. Another comment here reads, I personally developed the initiative for troubled youth in Castries East. 23 young troubled youth were trained in soft skills management. It was a great success. They received a lunch every day and $80 every Friday as incentive to come to classes. Prime Minister, let's do this island wide and set up the initiatives. A comment here reads, two people that have been left out in the crime narrative and that they should also bear responsibility is the mayor of Castries, who is the head of the municipal government, and the minister of local government. They too should be held responsible for this crime wave. Someone says, our caller, he does not care. As long as he has his surrogates, Zelevs and hacks with him and his victory, why should he care about you all? Someone says, her mother Helen holds her head and cries, for another son has been shot down in the streets and died, while the Prime Minister, Philip J. Pierre, tells us he knows that the wages of sin is death. Someone says there, the continual encumbrance of hypocrisy to personalize the police force, the targeted reliance on votes at election time, and the use as a presumptive creature of the political establishment that denotes governance are condemnations of the present fault lines of feebleness, leaderless, and awkwardness to escalated crime in St. Lucia. Someone says there, it's not that difficult to organize a crime victim fund to help those people who are innocently gunned down, to help and their families with medical costs. And the NewsSpinner says there, the government has sound thinkers who can reduce the crime issues significantly, but these people are not being taken seriously. That in itself is a huge problem. That's it for now, Tim.
Thank you so much, Amanda. Time for a WhatsApp message. It reads, the Prime Minister's speech is all rubbish. He is condemning the crime, fine. He is giving the police resources, fine. But you throw the suggestions of the opposition United Workers' Party, by extension, about half of St. Lucia in the garbage bin, and now you're calling on all St. Lucians, including the half whose suggestions you rejected to help fight crime. Tim, I'm not the smartest person, but how does that make sense? And let's see if we have another WhatsApp message. Somebody says there, happy Wednesday. St. Lucians, keep in mind, Philip J. didn't force his way through to become Prime Minister. He was elected, and he was elected by St. Lucians. Stop the blame and name calling. And that was a WhatsApp message. And another person says there, the Prime Minister only gives a speech about crime when a Don is dead. Another one says via WhatsApp, it says there, my heart breaks over the epidemic of violence that is taking over our island home. My condolences to the grieving families. I wish there was more I could do right now. As I've said so many times before, all of us have a role to play in crime prevention. We need a multi-pronged approach from the government to stop the scourge. We need a strategic plan. We need our people to come together to make it happen for St. Lucia. My hands are up and my feet are in. We need a team of concerned St. Lucians to help our country. Mark me present. This is not a SLP UWP issue. This is a St. Lucia issue and problem. St. Lucia has to be rescued from itself. We need help and all of us know it. Our people are dying and we cannot continue with this mess. Change has to happen for crime to be reduced, and we need people who know how to do it to get it done. We will not accept crime as the order of the day. All patriots must stand up, and now is the time. This one sent by Mr. Elwin St. Rose. And somebody says there via WhatsApp, wondering why so many violent crimes and total disregard, but real focus is on traffic infringement. Don't we have any police capabilities? And that is so true. Another person says there, Tim, just remember, donkey do not go to the horse and pony show. Have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon, NewsSpin, you're on the air. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, how are you?
Yes, sir, good afternoon to you. I am okay.
Amanda, how are you?
Good afternoon, Cole. I'm fine, thank you.
TP, it is not my responsibility to report on homicide or any other crime. But people have been calling me and asking me what the homicide figures are. I want people to do the maths themselves. But TP, are you hearing me?
Loud and clear, sir.
Good. I want you to take note of this thing. July 2025 is the bloodiest month in our country's history. And I repeat, July 2025 is the bloodiest month in our country's history. At the end of June, the 30th of June to be precise, Monday the 30th of June 2025, a government official stated that we had a 45% drop in homicides in this country. It was repeated by another colleague. That was true to him. It was also stated in April this year that we had the same percentage in the reduction of crime. That was also true. But no one is coming to say that in July, from July 1st to Monday evening, which was July 21st, we have recorded 16 homicides for the month. 16. At the end of June, the 30th of June, we had already recorded 29. So 29 and 16 make it 45 homicides for the year to date. And I want anybody to dispute that. July, as of July 21st, 2025, we have recorded 16 homicides for the month of July. The only month in which we had more homicides than that was in January 2017, on our way to the 60 homicides for the year. Now, I heard the Prime Minister talking about the opposition and the surrogate. I am nobody's surrogate. I was a crime fighter. I was a law enforcement officer. I was a crime prevention officer. Note well, Tim, I was a crime prevention officer. Not an oxymoronic ministerial position for crime prevention. That doesn't exist. So anybody who wants to take me to task can do so. We have recorded 16 homicides for the month of July in the year 2025, and they still have 8 more days to go until the end of the month. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you so much for calling, sir. As usual, appreciate your contribution. 452-2979, 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Again, 716-2026. And let us see if we have a WhatsApp message. Somebody says that, Tim, I've never seen a Prime Minister who confuses me like Mr. Philip J. Pierre. Mr. Prime Minister, I will never forget you disbanded the K9 unit. Nothing has hurt me more than this. Philip J. Pierre, for that reason, you should never be Prime Minister of this country again. This is unbelievable. Rick said St. Lucia finish, and yes, Rick is right. Philip, you have failed us miserably. We have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon. NewsSpin, you're on the air.
Hi, Tim. Good day. How are you doing?
I'm okay, caller. Good afternoon to you.
Yeah, Tim. Tim, I heard the best call of the day. Just a moment. James, 83 James. I can say his name because the man was, as he said, a law enforcer. Okay, and he's correct, Tim. Everything he said, gospel. Tim, let me give you a brief, very quickly, insight on last week. And we're not even counting, I'm not going to deal with homicide.
Are you there, caller?
That I don't know if those happen. Say again?
Yes, go ahead. Repeat.
Tim, I'm only going to talk about briefly about those that happened in Marchand over the last couple of days.
Yeah.
Tim, what during my stay, my graduation between 2017 July, I think I came there July the 2nd, 2017 to the 29th of July 2020. When was the election? 2 days after the election. I was transferred from Marshall. In those 4 years, Tim, I did a lot of crime fighting and crime interdiction and so on at the Marshall, in the Marshall area. Rockall, Menadil, Pavé, Tourouge. That was my jurisdiction. Tim, prior to leaving Marshall, I was tasked with preparing a report to indicate to the authorities installation of CCTV cameras, which I did, Tim. They needed that urgently. That was about February, March of 2021. I produced that report. I still have a copy, Tim. I can show it to you live whenever you want to see it. Tim, that I from the area and I put precisely all the areas where the cameras are needed. Tim, to date, up to Friday after that Black Malay homicide, I visited the area. You know, along the Marshall Road, there's not one camera, Tim. There are no cameras in the communities, none of the communities we're talking about. none in Pave, none in Rockall, none in Menadil, none in Tourouche. And there were cameras there up to the end of last year. As to whether they were functioning or not, I don't know. But I know at one time those cameras were functioning. The last set of cameras there, I don't know why they were removed and not replaced. I am not at work in the police force anymore. I don't know why they are not there. But you have a team when guys, and according to my instructions, when guys would come approach a man at 7:30 in the morning on a Sunday morning, when the road has other witnesses, and the guys would come there allegedly with no mask on. What does that tell you?
I have no fear of being caught.
The guys don't care, Tim. The guys don't care. The guys feel that they will not be caught. Or by the time the police get any lead on them, they're gone. And this has happened for the 6th time in Masha in the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks. We have had, how many? Let me see. Let me count it. We've had one at Arundel, one at the Boulevard, 2 at Black Malay, and one at the last one on Sunday. That's how many? 5. Those killings happened within 2 weeks, you know, Tim. So we have had the last 8 homicides happening within the last mile diameter, you know, from each other. Not a mile, I mean, I'm stretching it a lot. Between New Village and Masha is not half a mile. Why are those things happening? The fellas believe that they will not be caught. And even if they'll not be caught. Because you know why? They are able to scare the people, the community so much that they are almost guaranteed that nobody will basically squeal, to use the local palace. Tim, I have heard the Prime Minister's statement. I'll not even respond to the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is lost. The Prime Minister don't know what he's talking about. I am listening to those programs where men like Sergeant James would just call you there. Those are the people who are thinkers, not the Prime Minister. We have to get serious, and people have to say it as it is. Stop joking around with the criminals. Papi show. What is going on there in Masha is Papi show. And I can tell you that I can say that on the mountain top. That can stop within a day. But if you don't have balls, it will continue. This government is silent on crime, and they alone know why. They alone know why. Earlier on, I heard a caller told you something about a Vieux-Fort incident, and you tell him we don't know that. We don't know that, we don't know that. Tim, I was trying to remember the guy's name, and it just came to mind. I had something to say on that, but I'll just mention the guy's name. And I'll not say anything further. Brico. I'll not say anything further, Tim. Don't get jumpy. Don't get jumpy. I'll call you on another show, and we'll talk about that. But, Tim, I am a retired police officer. Military trained. Hardcore trained. Everything trained. Marshal raised. Ghettos trained. None of those guys will scare me. But the citizens are afraid. Marshal people are afraid. The people are restless because if you slow down, sometime ago, Tim, I want you, before I end, I want you to remember something. A guy sent a voice message out during the Vieux-Fort crime period. And he was warning that if you don't know Vieux-Fort, and you have to pick up somebody in Vieux-Fort, and you don't know the street, Whenever they see you drive up and down that road twice, they lighten you up. You remember that?
Yes, I can recall, yeah.
That was a voice message sent by somebody from Beaufort. Don't come and play you sightseeing in Beaufort and you don't know where you're heading. Tim, that's a dangerous statement, you know. We have almost reached that point. I tell you, I saw a man along the Marshall Road on Wednesday. Now note that the shootings happened, one on Thursday night and one on Sunday morning. The last two shootings in Marshall. On Wednesday afternoon, about midday, I was driving along Marshall Road. And I saw a guy that I wanted to speak to because I spoke to him 2 days prior. And I saw the man walking on the side of the road. So I pull over on the right side. And I'm driving slow along the road, and I'm putting my horn to get his attention. And the guy is looking at me, but he's not stopping. So I stopped my vehicle, and I got out of the vehicle, and I signaled him. That's when the guy crossed the road. And you know what the guy told me? Gasser, you officer, you're doing that wrong here. That was Wednesday. Fellas ain't doing them things in Marshall because people ain't taking no chances. The man told me that the shooting happened in Black Malay on the Thursday night and the other killing happened on the Sunday morning. You see what I'm telling you? Don't play you slowing down in any area. Now you might be innocently picking up somebody or getting off your vehicle to purchase something and you're just finding yourself shot dead, you know. Once the situation reached that level, that things are out of control. In my view, things are out of control in St. Lucia. Crime is out of control. The police come there only after the fact. The police cannot know when a crime is happening, but the police has to anticipate certain things. You have had 2 or 3 shootings in an area, a weekend is on, and there are heightened activities like carnival, and you're not expecting something to happen again? Tim, let me tell you something. I don't need to do what I'm doing there. You see that call I'm making there? I don't need to make that call now. It's only because I am concerned, I have children. I'm concerned about what is happening. I'm not no zealot of no political party. I would have said that if it was UWP that was in power, but I know UWP would have done better because the last minister of National Security, Roman Gill, understands Marshall just as well as I understand it. And he would never be making those foolish statements that Jeremiah and Philip are making. So, if the Prime Minister wants to stay there and play games, let him stay. But I'm telling you, the situation will get a lot worse if something is not done soon, and I mean soon, if not today. Tim, the last 2 guys shot there are guys from the notorious guys. I'll not mention the names. Everybody knows those fellas, except the politicians that plainly don't know them. But I know they know them. I know. You remember that statement? I know them. Tim, have a good day.
You too, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Which takes me to our NewsSpin question of the day, and it reads, why shouldn't Marshall/Black Malay be designated an escalated crime area? Why shouldn't Marshall and Black Malay be designated an escalated crime area? Because this was done to VA4 South, and that is in 2023 at the height of an increased incidence of criminal activity in that part of the island, when you had several shootings, including that of a toddler, a grandmother, among others. And that is how the Prime Minister made that announcement of VA4 South being designated an escalated crime area.
Escalated Crime Areas Act. What it did is that it puts it in perspective. This morning I signed the statutory instrument which will call Viewfort South the escalated crime area, and that will be till May the 16th. And the law is flexible, so you can always move it to another part of the country.
As the Prime Minister speaking there in 2023. This is the most monitored talk show in the world. Still to come, our NewsSpin news of the day. Stay with us.
Mark your calendars for July 30th and 31st. It's 2 days of sizzling savings you don't want to miss. Cashier Day is coming to Europa Hardware. Get 15% off all your favorite cashier gear. Wet and dry vacuum cleaners, powerful pressure washers, gas or electric, upholstery cleaners and steam cleaners that make grime run for cover. Swing by Europa Hardware and score 15% discount during the Cashier Day promotion. Remember, it's July 30th and 31st. Write it down, set a reminder, tell a friend to tell a friend. Don't wait, don't miss out. Call us at 452-0763. Europa Hardware in Massad Groselane. We service what we sell.
Prepare for the hurricane season by ensuring trees and other objects on your property won't get tangled in overhead wires. Be careful. Ensure ladders and tools don't come within 10 feet of power lines. If a tree is near electrical lines, don't try to trim it yourself. Contact Select at 452-2165 or 454-6617. Be smart, stay safe.
Tired of sky-high bills and a planet on the brink? It's time to go green without burning your pockets. At First National Bank, we are here to make saving the planet affordable. Whether you're installing solar panels, purchasing a water tank, upgrading to an inverter AC, or buying a hybrid vehicle, we've got the green to help you go green. Fast approval, low interest rates, and Mother Nature approved. Your future self will thank you. Visit firstnationalbankonline.com or call 455-7000 for more information to help you turn your green dreams into clean realities. First National Bank, here for you.
Whoa. It's in the feeling in our we talk. It's in the meaning in our spark. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are, 'cause the rhythm of life keeps pumping. Together going strong, no matter what we keep things flowing. Before we will go all in, our hands up in the sky, celebrating. Come let your rhythm flow.
Carnival just got crunchier with KFC. It's time to fat, win, and feast with the Carnival Crunch Box. For just $30, get a Big Crunch or Zinger sandwich, 3 crunchy strips, a dipping sauce, regular fries, a 16-ounce soda, and a biscuit. But wait, that's not all. Every Carnival Crunch Box gives you a chance to win big. Promotion runs June 1st to July 20th. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Do whatever that crunch you want.
At La Clinique de Corps, your health comes first with St. Lucia's only advanced 1.5 Tesla MRI, delivering safe, radiation-free imaging aligned with World Health Organization and international standards. Not sure if you need an MRI, CT, or ultrasound? Our expert in-house doctors guide you so you get the right scan the first time. One accurate scan can change everything. Your peace of mind starts here. Get $50 off all consultations with our doctors now through July 31st. We're UHC approved and accept all major insurances. Visit us in Castries or Cocoville, Rodney Bay. Call 451-6559 or WhatsApp 721-9950. La Clinique de Corps. Advanced care, local access, your health reimagined.
It's time to paint and save at MNC Home Depot and Sunbelt. Get 20% off on all Berger Everflow and Magic Coat paint during our big carnival season paint sale. Whether you're refreshing one room or painting the whole house, now's the perfect time to add that pop of color. But hurry, the Brush and Save sale is only here for a limited time.
Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, hey yo! DJ Max brings to you the ultimate brunch party, Shades and Red Cup edition.
Hey, watch!
I'm more of your style killer.
On Sunday, August 10th, Bayview Escape transforms from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Music by EJ the DJ, DJ Funton, King JV, LJ Fabulous, Yellow and Static. Tickets $100. Get yours at Cool Runnings Barbershop. You can also call or WhatsApp DJ Max at 725-9487. Get ready with your crew and join us at Baywatch, Sunday, August 10th. Shout out to Bayview Escape, Cool Runnings Barbershop, Audioworks SLU, Rudy Full Exposure, Hookerland SLU, and Power 97.9 FM. Baywatch!
Like what happened? Like we get them the place to run and like they cannot run it or what? Like we get them the place to run and like they cannot run it? What going on? What happened? I said I talk. We get all the place to run. Well, run it now.
4522979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Let's say good afternoon to you again, Amanda. Let's find out what is happening in the chat room. I suspect that will be your final update.
Tim and NewsSpin said here, St. Lucians wake up, our country is bleeding, whilst we sit by and do nothing, the power is in our hands. Commentary reads, there should be no bail for guns and gun-related crimes. And NewsSpinner says here, it's sad and also stupid for some people to think that those of us who are voicing our opinions, voicing our opinions and calling on the government, especially the Prime Minister, who is the minister responsible for national security and the Commander-in-Chief, to take control, not stop, but to take some sort of control over the crime situation taking place in this country. If this is called glorifying, rejoicing, and politicizing crime, then I guess we will continue until something is done, because who feels it knows it. Commentary reads, the traffic infringement is to bring money in for the SLP government. Someone says here, let's see, the K9 unit that was disbanded, the scanners that drank water, the Coast Guard to protect our borders, the CCTV cameras which were stopped, lest you forget. A commentator says, this man should be the public relations officer for the police. The brothers have more accurate stats than the top man at national security. A NewsSpinner says they're just recently Vanguard was singing. Okay, I read that already. Another commentator reads, I read all of those already. Back to you, Tim.
Thank you so much. Your final update, somebody says via WhatsApp, there is an upsurgent shooting and murder just after Tyson was killed. The same thing happened after the Prime Minister disbanded the K9 unit. What a coincidence. Who is guarding the guard in St. Lucia? Philip J.P. had better get ready for life after politics. He has to go. A final call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon. You're on the air. Hello.
Hi, good afternoon, Tim, and good afternoon, Amanda.
Hi, good afternoon to you, caller.
Good afternoon, caller.
Tim, I will attempt to answer your question of the day as to why Marsha Black Mali has not been designated an escalated crime area. You see, I do not think that any of the present sitting members of parliament in the Castries Basin, North Castries, East Castries, Central Castries, and Southeast, would entertain the idea of their jurisdictions carrying that label. If that was ever suggested, it would be put down by all of these members of parliament. But one has to ask, when the same happened in Vieux-Fort South, why did Dr. Kenny Anthony not put up some resistance? That is the question that we need to ask. Why did he just let it fly that Vieux-Fort be designated an escalated crime area? And one of the most troubling things, Tim, that happened over the last couple of days is the visit, and I could confirm that, the visit to the site, the crime scene of the guy with the one arm, the visit by the district rep. He is not the Prime Minister of Marsha or of Castries. He's the Prime Minister of St. Lucia. And he has not visited any of the other crime scenes in the country in the last year or even more. But he still found the time and found it apt to visit that one. These are the kind of questions that the populace, that the citizens need to ask of this Prime Minister. Why visited this one and not the others? And I'm also calling, now that we have two prospective candidates, both of the UWP and the SLP in Beaufort South, and Dr. Anthony is still in place, they need to make their voices heard and ask and demand that the tag of an escalated crime area be removed from Beaufort South. That is my contribution, Tim.
Thank you so much for sharing it with us. Somebody says they're via WhatsApp. Tim, what we need in St. Lucia to combat the criminals is between 5 to 10 Taiwanese, Japanese, or Chinese law enforcers fluent in English and running a crime unit within the police force without political interference. This unit must have a free hand in weeding out corruption in the police force. Final call. Hello, good afternoon to you. You are on the air, Rick Wayne.
Tim, I'll be very short.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you.
Yesterday, during some short breaks from the titillations of the Bam Bam Wall, I decided to do a little research on something. I wanted to find out how many American communities with populations up to about 200,000, how many homicides they registered annually. So the Americans, places I call places like Richmond, Virginia, Spokane, Washington, Des Moines, Iowa, and so on. You know what they registered, Tim? What the figure was for how many homicides a year in those American communities of 200,000 or so?
About in the 20s?
12 to 15, Tim.
Wow.
It gets better. I also checked the UK. A number of places, again, with the same sort of population. I'll let you guess again, Tim.
The same figure?
0 or 1. Usually 0, but 1. Can you believe that, Tim? And we had how many, 80, 70 something?
We normally, yeah, over the last few years, that's what we average, a little over 70.
And, you know, I also want to get back to this blaming business, because for some crazy reason, depending on which party is in office, you find people saying, man, no government can stop crime. No government can stop crime. Why are you blaming the government for crime? Which is suicidal, Tim, because the only people blamable for crime are the criminals, unless, of course, they are perceived criminals in the government.
Mm-hmm.
Because there is a report, and I was just checking it a while ago, there is a report that suggests there are people who are involved in crime in our politics. Which reminds me, by the way, that statement by the Prime Minister, parts of it are almost word for word the statements made by Kenny Anthony in 1998 at the launching of Operation Restore Peace. You hear me good?
Yeah.
And by Stephenson King shortly before the launching Operation Restore Confidence. So I don't know if there's a template there, because I don't suppose the Prime Minister writes his own speeches. I would presume that, like in most cases, the Prime Minister has hired hands to write the appropriate messages. I would imagine he'd tell them his sentiments and they would write that, no? So what does it tell you? That the speeches from under Kenny Anthony in relation to Operation Restore Peace, Rescue, whatever it was, Peace something. You remember that one, 98. and operation restore confidence. We will find you. We will do this to you. The same thing, same. So I don't know, but as I was saying, the people, when we blame people, we can't blame people for crime in the country, people generally, because by far the greater number of people in the country are not into crime things.
Yeah.
So why are you blaming people for crime? You're blaming them for not reporting to the police. But from 1998 thereabouts, the country has been told officially it cannot trust the police. The country, by reports, serious governmental reports.
Ramesh Diosaran, among others.
Beg your pardon?
Even by Ramesh Diosaran, among others, the criminologist from
Exactly.
Trinidad. Yeah.
So every report into the matter, that Diosaran is right. Exactly. That's a very good report. In fact, it's a report that maybe you should pull out if you have one and read sections of it, because people tend to forget those things. And nothing has been done about those things, Tim. I really do believe that, I said it to you after my call, I am seriously questioning the necessity of politicians. I am seriously questioning whether we're a zoo that we want to believe and we want to suffer what the politicians rain on us. Because politician after politician, to quote Judge Odlum oh God, how long ago did Judge Odlum say that? The politicians have fooled the people too many times. The next batch of politicians to fool the people should be hanged in Columbus Square. And I was among those who thought George was very irresponsible making a statement like that, talking about the hanging in the square, when in fact the greater problem was not the hanging in the square, Tim. The greater problem was the fooling of the people. So if you didn't fool the people, you wouldn't get hung in the square.
Yeah,
but for all kinds of silly, sensational reasons, I'm admitting it now. I've admitted it many times before. We choose to dwell on sections of statements that come back to haunt us. As far back as Judge Odlum's initial moving into politics, he warned us that our politicians were crooked and criminally minded. Criminally minded and crooked. That's what he warned us about. And they had been doing it a long time, and the punishment for them should be hanging in the square. Of course, Villanjon later thought it's citizens, when they commit themselves in certain cases, who should be hanging in the square. But again, Villanjon was a politician. So, I say those things because out of desperation to remind people that we have been there, we have been warned, we have had warnings for 20, 30 years about what is getting worse and worse and killing us and killing our babies, killing out our enthusiasm for life. We have turned our country into a forget your troubles and dance symbol. Shut the F off. There's free rum going. Go and dance.
And very soon we've had carnival. We're not saying carnival is not important, all right? Because I don't want anybody to misconstrue what I'm about to say. Carnival is very important. Let's enjoy carnival, our main cultural showpiece, etc. It brings out the creativity of our people in many shapes and forms. But also, hold on. Very soon, the government will be coming out with another activity, another observance. It will be Emancipation Day. And after that, then we have Journée Créole and Christmas, just trying to distract us from the real issues that are affecting us.
And each of them will be given an importance undeserved. For me, carnival is carnival. I don't care one way or the other. But yesterday, and I'm not into, God knows that. Everybody knows that. I'm not into, because I used to have some beautiful pictures from those, thanks to the carnival people.
Yeah.
But I would not want to photograph the demonstrations on the Bam Bam Wall. As a matter of fact, I was fascinated in the way that you go to a zoo and see animals you've never seen before and them carrying on in a cage. Some of those asses could not have been God-made. And thank goodness that women, we usually see them from the front before we're interested in looking them around at 360, right? Because if those things that some of these women were carrying behind them were in fact in front of them, I think men would be turning to animals. It's disgusting. It's playing with nature. I don't know what to, but I don't want to dwell on that. The government knows, successive of governments as well, because I don't want to just make it a new thing. We have been doing it and getting worse or worse depending on how you look at it. Some will say better and better, whoever is making the money out of it. This thing is getting worse and worse, and it's becoming, not surprisingly, hazardous to life, Tim. You're not going to hear who stabbed who or who shot who during the carnival any more than you're going to you know who killed who in Beaufort. And what's the record now?
The number of homicides so far?
Yeah.
We had 40 something.
And how many were killed during the carnival season so far?
During the carnival season, roughly a little over 5, let's say 7 or thereabout.
Has that beaten the National Day record or Independence Day record?
I think it's very close.
Huh?
I think it's very close. The figures are very close.
How can any sane people not look at the causes of because the causes are there, and the causes are not the cliche causes. The causes were put there officially. Kenny Anthony said that until we address some of the things in the impacts report, there will not be peace in the country. We will not get a decent police force. The police force will continue to be to go down the bad road. As a matter of fact, a policeman. I imagine now that a policeman who decides to be heroic and does his job well or whatever is likely to be set upon. Don't forget there was a policeman who wrote to the Public Service Commission telling them that the police commissioner had warned him his life was in danger by people involved with the impact incident.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
His wife ended up getting killed. We still have not resolved that, Tim. How many things have we resolved in terms of impacts, in terms of the killings from 2010 all the way, which I think is a continuing. How many? I tell you, Richard Frederick says in an article in 2006 when he launched
his campaign.
Not his campaign, his anti-crime football.
Peace and love.
With Herman Gil Francis, you should invite Herman Gil Francis on your show. Sitting between Herman Gil Francis and Broughton, and Frederick said that the crime, people responsible for the crime, were corrupt police officers, business people, and other people. He said that in 2006, it is reported, and I didn't write the article, it's reported. And then Kenny Anthony comes some 7-8 years later, and he simply changes one category from where Frederick had said other people. Kenny Anthony said government/politicians, politicians/government officials. I'm just reading it a while ago. And Tim, there's such an abundance of literature, reports by those guys. We have to ask ourselves, well, what have we been doing since 2010 with this library of warnings about what St. Lucia was becoming? Every institution is just a facade, Tim. So, pretty soon, I want to say to you, by the way, you continue to speak about crime and the shootings and whatever. But I want to tell you, Tim, not with the outrage that you had 2 years ago. You know? So if you can get inert to it, how long before you stop reporting it? Period. Because if you don't report it, it does not get reported anywhere else. In fact, it's played down and the blame put on nebulous the people and the mothers. And nobody mentions that the mothers and the fathers are as bad as the children, because in their time as children, they were going through the same upbringing, same everything, same lousy housing, same deprivation, same feeling they have no rights, that they're next to animals, that their children are feeling now, and that their children's children will continue to feel until St. Lucian say enough is enough. We have a beautiful country. Let us restore it to what it is. I am not happy with the opposition, by the opposition party, to the crime. It's not enough for them to just talk about it, because they, if they're lucky or unlucky, can find themselves in office inheriting all the problems that all the governments have inherited as we went along. We should be seeing now how serious they are about this overwhelming criminal situation we have here, and not just words. Thank you.
All right, sir. Thank you so much. Finally, somebody says, Tim, if we're continuing by supporting them criminals with contracts, then that's the result of their profit. We need to give contracts to reliable people. And we have our NewsSpin news of the day. The NewsSpin news of the day reads, good news, science backs up a 4-day work week. Good news, science backs up a 4-day work week. That's the broadcast. Thank you so much for watching and listening to another edition of the world's most monitored talk show. My name is Timothy Poleon. Goodbye.